right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's time for a brand new episode, a special episode, if you will, of As the Buckle Turns. I'm Adam, and I'm joined not by Tim, so he's not here. Thank you. I'm joined by our biggest internet indie scene, Mark. His name is Mark. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mark.
Hi, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're
and I
welcome.
got to push the button to start this whole thing off.
Yeah.
On the computer side. It could be dangerous for both of us.
But, yeah, so we brought you in, it was about a year ago.
Yep.
To talk about the indie scene. It's a year later. I think it's kind of our state of the indie scene address.
That works for me.
Maybe next year I'll have a better
yeah.
term for it.
Do I have to start with my fellow Americans?
My fellow pro wrestling fans. But yeah, so we're going to be sitting down. We're going to be talking all about everything not WWE, but somehow still pertaining to them because they're still the big boys on the block.
They're still there.
Yes, they are.
Like Big Brother watching over you.
Yeah.
Waiting to steal your shit. Sorry. All right.
That is what they do. That is what they do.
It is what they do. It has been traditionally what they've done.
Hey, that's your best guy? Guess what? Yeah. He's our best guy now.
We're going to take him. We're maybe going to not use him. If we do use him, we're going to use him like shit. And then...
send him back.
Yep. Then send him back to still make some money in this day and age on the indie scene, which is fantastic.
I know. So before the show, I mentioned to you that it seems like right now with the amount of independent organizations that are very, very much stepping up, being seen a whole lot more, it feels to me like we're back in a renaissance of what was kind of going on in the 70s through probably mid 80s, where there was just so many organizations, people were, leaving and going and coming. I'm excited for pro wrestling again.
Me too. I've been excited over the last. I go in and out. Like I had a solid period of the late '90s, early 2000s. Through the 2000s. About 2007, I dropped off, and about 2012, 2014, I can't remember now. It all kind of blurs together. Anyway, 3 or 4 years ago, I came back, because I was flipping through channels and I saw Bryan Danielson, who you all know as Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
Who I absolutely loved after Ring of Honor kind of ended. I went down to Ring of Honor for a couple of years. I would go down, I would drive to Philly every month go to the shows. And so when that kind of started to end, there was that kind of void where you were doing it that often. It was just the thing. And to be able to we went to the first year of Ring of Honor in Philly. So the first Ring of Honor show all through, and seeing him and Low-Key and Christopher Daniels was the main event of that first first show. And you're almost loving wrestling. You're just like, oh my God, it's not over. It's like, and Ring of Honor subsequently, for me personally, that period from 2002 till about 2006, 2007 is the best period in wrestling to me.
Oh, wow.
I've looked back at some of the Attitude Era stuff, and I loved it. That's what kind of got me, again, after being on a little bit of a hiatus before that, 97, 98, kind of like, oh, okay, something's going on, and then seeing ECW and be like, oh, something's really going on, and, starting in 99, going down there. It was just great to actually have something, and to have something that's sustained itself and is now... This is now what you're looking at, and I jokingly say that nobody's ever made it through the indies, they don't make anybody big. But when you look at the guys that they have now that are at the top, most of them are from Ring of Honor. Most of them have been. I mean, granted, like an Aries, they didn't use well, but you had Daniel Bryan up there. You have Seth Rollins up there. You have Samoa Joe, who is I think injured right now. If I'm not
he
sure,
should be back real soon.
Okay,
like in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh, good. So
but yeah, overall,
you have guys that are there and doing it.
Yeah, you have this wave of what's affectionately nicknamed indie darlings.
Yes.
But no, they're names that they built themselves up outside of the bubble that is WWE. And for me, the best example is AJ Styles.
Sure.
Coming into the Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant.
Yep.
And Vince not realizing that that was going to be the pop he would receive. And he's like, oh, my fans, they only pay attention to what I put out.
Right.
And you're like,
or he's like, oh, well, he's short and, like,
yeah,
and
he's short and
weigh
small.
A whole lot, like, or something along those lines. But he also, in that Royal Rumble match, in the Royal Rumble match, was just coming off of January 4th where he wrestled Shinsuke Nakamura. And
yes.
In a phenomenal match.
I know.
So you came off of a 5-star match. However, people want to argue those little. I love when people argue fractions of stars. It's so dumb to me.
It was like 5.275.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, that wasn't a 5-star match, but it was more like 3 1/4. You know what? Go fuck yourself and have your own 5-star match. When you can actually get in the ring and do that, I'll accept that from Okada and Nakamura and AJ Styles, but not from you, fat ass.
And for me, the best part, especially regarding the star system, outside of, say, a Dave Meltzer or someone at his level,
sure,
whose sole job is to just watch matches, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's a guy who knows what's a good match, what's a bad match, and what makes a good match. Sometimes, like, some of his star ratings over the past year, I've been like, he gave it that. And then I've gone back to the match and I've been like, no, that actual match was good. Not the build up to it, not the fallout, the match itself. Both guys showed up and did their job.
Right. Right. And then it ends up, like if you're arguing over little points and things.
It's nuance.
I felt like, to me, when he gave Okada and Omega 6 stars, I didn't feel like that was the new rating system.
No.
I felt like that was, hey, you should all watch this match. Has Tim watched that match yet?
Yes, he has.
Oh, good.
It did take him. It took him a full month. The best part is he finished Wrestle Kingdom before I did.
Oh, did he? Okay,
yeah.
Good.
He watched I want to say he actually found a way to get the stream.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, he watched the entire thing live.
Nice. They did it on Access, so I was able to watch. Some. I actually came back. The trip was perfect.
Oh, nice.
Like, I was driving. I had to drive back from, I think it was New York, to try and make it in time to at least see Omega and Okada Omega and Jericho. And I just finished a podcast with Jay White. Like, right as I was driving down the street, I pulled in, get into my friend's house. Just Jay White and Tanahashi had just started. And then so maybe it was a little bit in, but I got to see that, and then Jericho and Omega, and then Okada and Naito, and it was just one of those perfectly timed things. And then to walk in after listening to Jay White, who seems like a pretty good kid and is great in the ring.
He definitely has a very bright future.
Yeah.
I mean, even more so, he's now the New Japan. He's the IWGP US champ.
Oh, really?
He dethroned Omega.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Even better is so Adam Page, or Hangman Page, was supposed to come into the ring and attack Jay White right after. Omega stopped him, which caused the further split of Cody and Omega.
And the Bullet Club stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then ended up having Cody attack Omega.
All right.
So, yeah, Jay White's also kind of in the middle of what's going on right now. I'm like, he had a great match.
He had a great match, and I said I watched it again on Access with, was it JR and Barnett calling it?
Oh, I haven't seen their commentary yet.
I think it was on that one. I get confused, and then I'm never current. That's the other hard part about, like, I'm not like, I'm usually at least a month behind. I'm like, okay, now I got to catch up on this one, that one. And like, oh, but Beyond had this, and like this and that, and I was like, all right, like, jump on this. But this circles a little bit back around to a question that I think is important, or a statement that you made that was important, as far as essentially having a new territory system.
Right.
And having the access for everybody to watch this territory system. If you want to watch Red Pro in the UK, you can watch it live. New Japan, no problem. Or if you have other places that have the streaming services now, so it's, I know Beyond Wrestling is using, and Evolve, I think, might be using Powerbomb TV.
I don't know.
House of Hardcore uses Twitch.
Yes.
So you can watch, you can watch their events live. They're numbered events, but then they do a TV show, or TV event thing, and so that was really interesting. So you have such access to it, and you have the talent.
I know.
You have the. I guess the only one that's really not on board is PWG. So They just seem to want to do the thing that they do, which is have the thing so everybody knows all the results, and then a month later can watch it on DVD or Blu-ray, which is it. I don't know.
It's their thing.
If that's your thing, that's cool. I just want to, just keep putting on some quality stuff and being another. Like I talked to you about going to that building, and I've been in the ECW arena, and that was a great building to watch wrestling in. PWG is amazing. It is small. You can't be 50 feet from the stage or from the ring.
Oh, wow.
You can't. It's not physically possible for you to be 50 feet from the it is very intimate and just awesome. It's just it's incredible I talked with Adam Jones from Tool, and I'm a huge Tool fan. Like, I literally bumped into him, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, man." And I'm like, "Holy shit!" Just random, "Oh, hey." Yeah, and Ron Funches was cool as shit. Just as a little aside, he was just he was funny and just awesome. But the crowd the crowd is great, and that's what I want. That's what I want in the indie scene now, and that's what I think is doing really well. I think Rev Pro's not getting a lot because Rev Pro, they have their guys. What Culture Defiant now. Mentioned, we'll get into that. Uses them, and there are some great matchups, and they're bringing guys over. They're actually Speedball Mike Bailey is over there. I just saw in my looking at the cage match.
Nice.
The cage match listings, and I've seen him in the Indies. Who apparently he came into the United States illegally. So now he's banned for 5 years.
Okay.
So I assume that's not a work because I haven't seen him at any of the shows that I've been to in at least a year.
Or it's the greatest work ever.
Right, exactly. He's like, I'm not going to go down there where there are places that I can make money. No way. We're going to build this up so, nobody really knows him.
In 5 years, I'm going to show up and blow everyone's mind.
Exactly, yep. It's going to be great. But I see him on, which is awesome because he's just great. And like I said, he at PWG, Omega was at PWG, and one night he wrestled Speedball Mike Bailey, had the best match of the night, and the other night he wrestled Will Ospreay and had the best match of the night. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. 2019 is going to be the year of Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I think that 2019 will be the year that Will Ospreay's probably somewhat of at least the household wrestling fans name.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of there now again with, if you want to add YouTube and a lot of that and a lot of the things that, the buzz that it got for a little while about, it was probably Cornette, because it's always Cornette.
Yeah, it's usually Cornette.
I love Corny, he's great, but sometimes I'm just like, come on, Jimmy. Please, we just...
At the same time, I swear to God, it's just somebody just purposely asking him, knowing that they're going to get a specific response.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you allow this to happen?
Right.
Just be like, I'm not answering that, and walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know. So anyway, hey, he's still in the mix. He's getting himself over. His podcast is funny. I've listened to it a little bit. I've had some time with this work traveling thing, so I have more podcast time as
nice. I
sit and make stupid connectors. So it's kind of at least something positive comes out of it other than some money. So it's I get to hear a little bit. But anyway, so still with the territory, the new territory, and access to everything, and a lot of companies that know, you have those stunt booking kind of thing. We're gonna bring in Ryback just got released. Let's bring him in. Even though he's garbage. But then again, I'll be honest. Maybe Ryback's not garbage. I've never seen him wrestle on the indie scene. I've only ever seen him, and I've always hated him.
Yeah.
I've just always felt like he was the guy that they were trying to be the next. He's trying to make him the next Goldberg. Actually called him Ryberg for the longest time.
Yeah.
But and it just never worked out. And I don't know. Maybe he's good. I guess so. I take it back. Ryberg.
Well, I mean, another big guy that we see in the WWE with a very limited moveset, Brock Lesnar, his work over with New Japan was incredible.
Yep.
It actually showed why he should be a top-level superstar or a top-level pro wrestler anywhere.
Yep.
But then, yeah.
And you used to get even a little further back, some OVW tapes when he was, and waiting for him to come when he was doing a shooting star press instead of planting his head into the mat. He was doing it and doing it really well.
Thank God
Now
he has like a.
I'm just envisioning that. I remember watching that with a group of people, and all of us
I was there.
Like, oh, but were you there? Okay.
Yeah, I was there.
I was like, oh my God.
I had just turned away to look. I don't know if it was you or somebody else to be like, he's doing the shooting star press, and you all reacted. I turned and I'm like, oh God, he's dead.
Yep.
Because he was just laying on the mat.
Oh.
And then that one little arm drag over. It was just like,
yeah.
Oh,
like,
this is painful to watch.
Oh goodness. Yeah, it was something because we'd been waiting for it and we'd heard about it and we'd seen. I don't know if there was a clip of it that we saw, but
probably
internet things were fuzzy back then because we had internet at the house, but it would really, you planned out your pages kind of thing. You're like, I'm gonna go to the slash da 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 slash da 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 because we don't need to load this 3 pages. That's gonna take like 15 minutes. That's too long. So this is the world we lived in, kids. At one point in time,
dial-up was so bad that you had to pre-plan everything. You were like, and sign on, go make dinner.
Yep.
Come back, load video, watch a TV series, come back and go, okay, now we can play it.
Now we can watch that 4-minute clip.
I know.
But yes, there were a lot of guys that were really doing something. They were really, really working and really kind of just yeah.
But yeah, no, Will Ospreay is going to be the next. I mean, the next Rey Mysterio.
I
think he's cruiserweight, super like.
I think he has the ability to do that. He also has the ability to come in and be like one of the best baby faces ever because I feel like he has. Okay, so I feel like his selling is some of the best that I've seen in a long time.
Even
though corny bitches about. All right. Even though people bitch about it, and won't bring him into it. But even though people bitch about it, I've seen some great. Okay, so they were working on arm in one of the. It was a Kushida match or the Ricochet match, but not the big one. I think that ever. Oh, maybe it might have even been that. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Arm work, like through the whole thing. Like he got kicked in it, a couple of brutal arm spots. He goes to just absent-mindedly do his handspring upside down into the ropes thing.
Yeah.
Like falls, and I was just like. Yes.
Ring psychology?
What? Oh my God! Look at him! And, And this is the thing that I think when guys start bitching about like the high flyers or a lot of the stuff like this, these are the things where I go, yeah, but watch this. Like I watch wrestling and at some point I'm gonna see a phenomenal match. I just have to wait for it. Like sometime, and then you're like, oh, there it is. And he did that, and even after, I think maybe even before that, he had also kind of sold it like where he did I've seen him do a one-armed handspring and off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, while you're complaining about them not selling moves, they're selling some of the best stuff that and you just, it just gets thrown away because you can't, you're too busy yelling at them to get off your grass than
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, crap, we went off for a second there. All right, where were we? I have no idea right now. Okay, my next question for you.
Okay,
then
I'm ready.
So Saturday, April 7th, it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega.
Oh, yes.
That entire Bullet Club situation is muddled and crazy because you have Cody backed up by Hangman Page and Marty Scurll. They're doing their thing as a kind of a team. You have Kenny Omega reuniting with, I want to say it's Ibushi, his Golden Lovers tag team mate.
Okay.
And then the Young Bucks doing whatever they're doing.
Oh, the Young Bucks thing.
We're
just here making money without Vince. It's cool. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, no.
Carry on.
No. I love the fact that Generation Me, which was supposed to be just kind of the crappiest gimmick ever, morphed into the Young Bucks as one of the top indie money makers of all time.
Yep.
Like,
it's amazing.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. And then you also in this mix, you have the OG Bullet Club guys led by Bad Luck Fail, the underboss, the only guy that has been there since day one.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what the hell is going on with everyone? He's like, explain this to me. I'm actually looking forward to this matchup, though. Partly because you have Kenny, who's kind of the worldwide #1 guy in the industry.
Oh yeah, yeah. Anybody who doesn't believe Kenny Omega is like the top, I'm not going to say the top wrestler, but the top guy, the most popular wrestler out there,
right?
Is really it's amazing. It's amazing.
And you have Cody Rhodes, who, quite honestly, right now, his exposure level kind of puts him in the top 10 easily worldwide. And I'm just like, all right. And they're supposed to be friends. And this storyline has actually been building since Wrestle Kingdom 11. Or, no, Dominion. Or was it 11? I forget which one. The one where Cody had come down and was going to throw the towel in. Oh, it was Dominion.
Oh, sure. I remember. Yeah.
It's been building since that moment.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know, amazing.
Yeah, long-term storytelling.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I loved about New Japan when I got back in whenever the hell 2015 whatever it was. I started watching more New Japan, got New Japan World, and and started seeing more of the stuff that I would hear about. Like I heard about the G1 tournament, and you'd see on a tape somewhere, you'd see a couple matches or this and that. So to have that and to be able to kind of see this and see that they're building storylines for years, multiple years they push at times. But at least, even with not like bigger stuff, like with that, you're talking 6 to 8 months, 9 months, whatever. Like, it's just, it's awesome.
And everyone in that organization is like, that's a fast build-up. And you're like,
right.
What?
Right. And then you look at something like WWE going into their biggest pay-per-view of the year. We're now April. I wish it was April. That'd be awesome.
It's February.
Yeah, so we're right at the beginning of February, and this is going to be right at the beginning of April, I believe.
I believe so. April 4-ish.
Yeah, somewhere in that, right?
It's the first couple of days.
So really, you're building for 2 months on stuff, and then you're going to change stuff, and you're not going to have a full card flushed out by March 18th. Like
somehow
it blows. I get that there can be a random match or two, but you're going to have 10 to 12. Is that what they usually do with the?
I think last year was 13.
Was it? Okay, yeah,
including pre-show.
Yeah, so
and there were 3 on the pre-show.
Yeah,
which now kind of bothers me that there's that few matches, which. Knowing WWE and the way that they pace out a match, we're not going, especially this year, I will be happy if AJ and Nakamura go 32 minutes.
Yeah. I'm just happy that it's happening.
Yes, I know.
I've been, some friends and I have talked about this a bunch of times. We're like, will you please just pull the trigger on it? Just do
I know.
It. Both the guys are not old. But
no.
AJ coming out of, the other thing that happened with him, I think I get my years mixed up. Sorry.
Okay.
I just blame the drugs. Wait, can we talk about drugs? I know we can swear. But...
Yeah, no. I don't care.
Cool. No.
We've got about 4 audience members.
Oh,
and,
fantastic. They probably all smoke weed, so we're good. We're
2
good.
or 3 of them come and go randomly. I don't know.
Nice. That takes the pressure off of me.
I know,
don't have
completely.
to worry about too much.
Every time you're on, we actually get more plays than anything else.
What? Nice.
I know, it's great.
Hey, that's good.
But yeah, AJ and Nakamura. So, okay, just let's get down to that alone. Nakamura wins the Royal Rumble. Asuka wins the Royal Rumble, or Women's Rumble. I'm just calling them both the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's 2 in the world of WWE foreign wrestlers winning their matches to get to the grandest stage of them all. That is not what Vince does.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Like getting an indie star to win the Rumble is difficult in and of itself. Getting a foreigner, like that to me, like especially, I keep using the word foreigner in air quotes, and it's their term. Yeah, I know. Damn it.
Now you just go. I'm not even gonna. No, keep going. Carry on.
But is there some? I truly do believe that there's somebody inside WWE that gets to make decisions. Probably has the first name of Paul.
I'd go with that. I mean,
who's
maybe,
a huge wrestling mark in and of himself.
Yep. He may have done a really cool lip sync battle recently, but I'm not even gonna say.
Oh, by the way, that was awesome.
It was pretty cool. I'm a little behind. It probably happened a while ago. I just saw it the other day. So
it was just before the Rumble.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. So
yeah.
I'm not that behind.
Just before the 25th anniversary of Raw, which was a weird show. Kind of a weird show.
I didn't get to see that show. One thing. Okay, wait. So I want let's stick to because I'm very excited. I'm very very excited about AJ Styles. I'm also to finish up with Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah.
Omega.
Sorry.
I don't really have much to add. I just want that's exciting.
Yeah.
It's just an exciting thing that potentially can happen. I actually haven't looked up exactly where it's going to happen.
Yeah, I forget.
I did see that Ring of Honor is going to be with New Japan and Lowell, though.
Right.
There is a day for that. I just don't know. Yes, they're doing.
It's in our backyard.
Oh, they're doing a tour. Actually, they're doing Chicago, Toronto, Lowell, and Lowell.
I like the fact that it's Chicago, right. Toronto, Lowell.
Yeah, it was great.
Not Boston.
I went to a show last night. This guy Joe Purdy and Amber Rubarth. I like them both. We saw them on this cruise that we were on, and she was talking about that, and she's like, "Yep, we played Chicago, we played New York, we played Boston, and now we're playing Derry, New Hampshire." And that's our tour. So,
all right,
it was great.
It's like, well, thanks for coming to here.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I think LA was on that. It was some promo thing for a movie. Anyway, so it's neat to have them there, and if you have not been, the Lowell Memorial Auditorium, it's got that vaulted ceiling.
Yeah.
It was where Joe beat Finn for the title.
Oh
when they
yeah,
had the house show thing happen. I was there. The place went nuts. The place was nuts. It was awesome. I was happy to be there. Actually, I was really happy to be there that night because there were other matches that you don't get, and that's why it's sometimes house shows. They're kind of fun for WWE. Well, I went to it. That's not NXT, for instance. Yeah. So I saw I got indie guy Biff Busick that I really liked, who is now Oni Lorcan.
Oh, okay.
So it was Oni Lorcan against Tommaso Ciampa. So it's two Boston guys in Lowell, and they may have opened the show. One of the best matches of the night. And then at the time, I think the Revival and American Alpha were going at it. Asuka and Alexa Bliss went at it.
Oh, wow.
Shinsuke, and I was just happy to see Shinsuke doing anything.
Yes.
But Shinsuke and Elias Sampson. And,
to this day, Elias Sampson, every time I see him, still to this day, I'm just like, he's a big dude. It surprises me every single time.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he would be as big as he is, but he's a big dude.
The moment that it's a slight far camera, like any of those angles, I'm like, that's Elias Sampson. As soon as they get close, I'm like, that dude's as big as John Cena.
Yep.
How they do a very good job of whatever the vest and all of that stuff just somehow makes him look physically smaller than he really is.
And he's somebody that's been I feel like doing well in NXT. I think he's up now, but
main roster.
Yeah, he's main roster now, but I feel like he's getting some legit heat, and I like it. And they're starting to turn. The last time I saw him,
at the Rumble, his entire gimmick through the Rumble is that all he wanted to do was just sing his songs in the middle of the ring. And every time someone came out, it would just bother him, so he beat them up. And, then would go back to trying to sing his songs in the ring.
Yep. So
I was like, all right, see, that's how you get that not serious heat.
Right. You're actually,
you're like, I want to boo this guy now because all he does is try to do this over and over again, and it's annoying now, guy.
Yeah, that's nice. That's it.
So
we were
AJ and Nakamura,
which does bring us to the Rumble.
Yes,
which I did watch because I was working in Newark,
which
is not a fun place to work. Just as an aside, but it worked out really nicely because I was watching that in a hotel room, but I was able to go to some shows that weekend, the other weekend before that.
Oh, nice!
And it was really cool. Just for not really a down moment, but it's a thing that happened. A friend of mine passed away.
Oh.
Her name was Maureen Clark, and everybody called her Mo. And she was the one that I used to go meet when I went down to ECW all the time. And so for 2 years, I'd go down and we'd drive random guys here and there, and whatever they needed to do, and then we'd watch the shows. We'd hang out at the hotel that everybody kind of would hang out at once in a while. The guys would stay with us because they'd get early morning flights.
Oh, cool.
So they wouldn't have to actually pay for a hotel room. So that was cool. And I was able, like she passed away, and it was really nice to see a lot of those guys like send out like tweets and stuff about her. Tommy put up a thing on the House of Hardcore TV, like dedicated the episode to her and stuff like that. And then there were guys on Twitter, like all over Twitter, from Shane Douglas to Whipwreck and like all the, a bunch of those, Dreamer and a bunch of those guys. It was really just a nice thing to see for someone who, but she'd been going to the House of Hardcore shows again, and which I didn't realize she'd kind of gone to all of them with, she's got 2 sons that are in their late 20s, I think, somewhere in that area. And so it was fitting. I was in Newark, and Friday night there was a House of Hardcore show at the ECW Arena in Philly. Wow. So I drove down, I talked to her kids for a bit, watched the show. There was a random front row seat, so that was nice. I was like, yeah, here's some money. Okay,
all right.
I'll sit, that's great. And headline, it was headlined? It doesn't matter. In my mind, it was headlined by Matt Riddle, who is the best of the indies right now. It's for me personally, and I think a lot of people would agree, he's the top of the heap as far as the indie guys go.
Oh, nice.
And Austin Aries.
Oh, wow.
So when we talked about Austin Aries coming out with his 4 titles already, and it didn't seem like he's been gone from WWE that long.
Yeah.
We're like, are these gimmick titles? And then
like, no.
I was sitting right next to Steve I think his name's Steve DeAngelis. He was right at he was the timekeeper and stuff.
Yeah.
And it would happen, and I was talking with the guy next to me, and he's like, oh no, those are all legit. Like, he has those and I was like, holy shit, that's
yeah, because
that's impressive.
Right this moment, last I knew, he had the Defiant title, the TNA title, and I don't know any. There's another title that he had picked up that I was just like, wait, is he pulling a Matt Hardy and just taking every title wherever he goes for a while?
He's just collecting them. You gotta have a good title collection. You don't want to be walking around with,
You're like, come on, I can't have that title. Oh well, I'll have that title too then.
Yeah, so that was a big draw for me for that, and it was nice to be able to be down there. I went out with I went to the diner that we used to always go to, the Oregon Diner, and her kids were there with like 20 other people, so they had a whole group.
Wow.
That go to the House of Hardcore shows. So they live about 30 minutes out of Philly.
Oh, that's not bad.
So they live in Delaware.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I got to go to Delaware too for like 8 minutes.
Well, I mean, what really goes on in Delaware?
Nothing.
Nothing outside of Baltimore.
People drive through it, and that's what goes on.
Yeah. Like outside of Baltimore, what's going on? Who lives there?
Yeah.
If you live there, go ahead and leave a comment as to what's going on.
Yeah, what is going on in Delaware?
But yeah.
So we went to that, and they're all Eagles fans except for one other guy. So we got to kind of like razz them about the Super Bowl and stuff. That was fun. And just talk wrestling with a bunch of random people, and it was a really great and fitting thing. So the next day we did the funeral stuff, and that was it was normal. I had to be in a church, which is always a little weird for me.
Okay.
Skin gets itchy, it's just a weird thing.
Yeah, like why does it feel like my flesh is burning?
Is something. I mean, is this
supposed to be
the air in
here?
Supposed to be
hot in here? Why is it so hot in here?
So we did that, and then they had Beyond Wrestling, which is another of my favorite promotions that run out of, I think they're technically out of Rhode Island.
Okay.
And but they run Rhode Island, in Worcester, Somerville, Melrose. They have they've been moving into Jersey a little bit, but
they need to come north.
Yes, they're close. Come on, you gotta go. You can have your arms on the ring, dude.
Oh,
you can be. There's no barricade. Well, usually there's no barricade. They've done a couple of double headers. Headlining kept coming. I'm like, nope, that's not it.
Nope.
Double header.
Okay.
They've done double headers with Evolve.
Oh, okay.
And Evolve has the seats out, and so they kind of conform to that a little bit. But if you see them in certain other places, you can have your arms on the apron of the ring. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
And you got to pay attention. You know?
Yes.
So there's no casually being on the edge of the ring. Things could happen at any,
someone slides by, you get kicked in the face.
Yeah.
Not their fault.
We saw a girl take a heel. Like the guy tried to go and just roll to the apron real quick as he went through the ropes instead of onto the crowd of people, and his foot just came around right in right in, I think it hit her in the forehead, so which is probably better than like the nose or the mouth.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
Ooh.
But she stayed
was a
there.
trooper?
She just yep, she kind of came up. She wasn't bleeding, but everybody went, oh! Oh my god. So Beyond ran their first show called The Spirit of 76 in Chikara's Wrestle Factory in Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
At 2 p.m. So a lot of the people, like they've been doing it around Mania, but a lot of the companies have been kind of trying to capitalize on all the wrestling fans. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, me either. Especially when you go to a place like Philly.
It's
you're
a
going
big
to
city.
Philly, you're going to, and Philly has such a rich wrestling history. I mean Philly's ECW, Philly's Ring of Honor, Philly's CZW, like that kind of. So like it's there, and the fans kind of, and Philly's, it's a little rough. It's I affectionately call it filthy, but because it is, and it's all right,
People give crap to Boston for being Boston.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's Boston.
Yeah,
you just kind of go it's.
It's got a nice special place.
Yeah.
Philly. I like the Super Bowl this year. I'm cool either way. I'll be honest with you. I'm cool either way. I don't. I have such an affection for Philly. I'm good with it. I'm good with whatever way that goes. It'll be fun. It was fun to razz them, and because they were like, yeah, well, what do you have to say about your cheating Patriots? I'm like, I don't have to say anything. You guys are happy about your team. I want you to be happy about your team for a while.
Yeah.
Enjoy this, because
we've been there.
At the end of the game, when you lose badly, then you can feel bad. I want you to feel good now. I want to lift you guys up is what I want. That's what I really want.
I understand. We have 5 rings. Do we really need 6? We could throw them a bone.
Move it to the other hand. And start that hand. That's cool. There was a kid at the table, and he's like, well, I don't. He was 8, and his mother. I was talking with her, and she was super nice. And he's 8. I don't like the Patriots because they always cheat. They deflate the balls in every game. And I leaned forward like I was gonna say something, and I was like, wait, he's an 8-year-old kid. Hold on, this is an 8-year-old. I looked at the mother, and I was like, she goes, you were gonna say something. I was like, it's just a natural reaction for me to be like, this is such a ridiculous thing. Like, oh, our team did what every team has. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Like, and I'm like, no, he's 8. You enjoy your pancakes, kid.
It's okay.
So, Chikara's Wrestle Factory,
yes,
which it was in an awesome little section of Philly where every place around it was a car repair shop. Okay. It was on this weird little L road. There's all car repair shops, and you go in this little door, and there's Chikara's Wrestle Factory, which looks like it was at one point in time in an auto mechanic shop.
Most likely it was.
They have their little hive thing the ramp, which I love, and companies don't do this much anymore, and I've always liked it, and I don't know why I like it so much. ECW did it for a while. There's no ramp down. It's just a ramp from the entrance area directly to the ring. So you're not stepping up into the ring.
Yeah.
You could still throw the guy onto the ramp and do some moves, and everybody in the building can still see them. I mean, in that building they can because it's very small. Yeah. But in other buildings, you still up. Like the people on the floor, you're like, oh, good, they threw him out on the other side of the ring. I guess I don't get to watch any of this now.
Well, that's going to be fun over there for a little while. Hopefully they do something on this side.
Yep. So, the big thing happened over there. Oh, the match is over. Great. Well, thanks.
All right.
Fuck me, I guess. I don't know. But they had, a little short ramp thing there. And so the thing that was interesting with this Beyond show, and Beyond has been able to kind of build their reputation. They bring in a lot of indie guys. That's kind of what they do. They have some of their own homegrown New England, not so much homegrown, but they have New England talent that they use. But they went into Philadelphia and sold out a building without announcing a card.
Wow.
And I'm saying a building, I don't know if there were 300 people there. But it's a normal indie wrestling show. It's 250 to 400 people.
That's all you need
in a room. I mean, in a room that looked completely full. Like where we were sitting, there were probably 2 or 3 rows of people standing at one point after the chairs ended.
Oh wow.
So it was so they announced no matches.
That's how do you what?
Isn't it awesome? It's awesome. I just love it. I mean, not that I want to like everybody to go to that because they'd be like, oh, good. That sucked. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but no, like I have to say, one of the great things about pro wrestling, just in general, is the intimate environment. The smaller the venue, except for event shows, Wrestle Kingdom. Of course, it's the Tokyo Dome, and it's got 100,000 people watching it. But you go to watch some of the other stuff. It's in I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Karakin Hall.
Corkin. Yeah.
And there's maybe 1,000 people.
I don't know exactly, but it is significantly smaller.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's and one of the more famous wrestling buildings. They've even with like the ECW arena, they've revamped that. And they've tore down some. It took me a while to orient myself and be like, where was the? The wall is over. Okay, so that was the entrance, but they completely blocked the whole entrance where you used to go in. So it like just looks like a bit smaller room. I don't exactly know how many they hold. 1,000 I wouldn't be surprised. That seems right. I think actually the ECW arena might have held a little bit more than that, but anyway, so
but still
the general size. And then you have but anywhere you go, like the Beyond runs at this place called Electric Haze.
Okay.
And they have they have the ring about a couple feet maybe off of a brick wall.
Oh, wow.
So the guy with the camera will stand in that little section by the brick wall, and you have kind of it's the bar area, probably holds a couple hundred people. It's a great atmosphere. It's one of those shows where your arms are going to be right on the ring.
Nice.
And they bring in some of the best of the indies. They had Dave Christ, and he ran the wall into a diamond, like he went up, springboard, second top rope, ran like 3 or 4 steps across the brick wall, and I think turned it into like a diamond cutter. I think something along those lines. But it was one of those that the place just like huge pop, just huge. And it was awesome. It was a great like little highlight that they'll always be able to. You'll see it in every video package, like that kind of thing.
For the next 20 years, this is what we're selling.
And they don't really do that much. They're more of like, hey, here's our show. Here's what we're doing. They also have Beyond Demand, which is another, their streaming service. So it was really awesome because you got to see a few guys that were there, because they're there doing their gimmicks, selling their gimmicks, and signing autographs and that kind of stuff. So you knew that I knew Matt Riddle was there. I knew David Starr was there. 2 guys that I just the top 5 easy of my like indie scene. If you take away we talk indie scene. I feel like you take away a few companies, but they're still indies. Like I wouldn't put New Japan as much in that.
No, they're a top dog.
Ring of Honor's pretty huge.
I
know Impact's working on it. I'm gonna start watching it. I like Don Callis, so I'm kind of I love Killing the Town. If you guys don't listen to Killing the Town, Don Callis and Lance Storm have a podcast called Killing the Town.
Wow.
So after you watch this or listen to this every month. Or every week.
Every week.
That's right. Every week. They do one, I think, weekly as well.
Oh, nice.
So they have,
nice.
and they're it's a fun podcast. It's a little more inside wrestling than a bit. But Don Callis was one of the guys that orchestrated the Omega Jericho match.
Oh, cool.
And was talking. He started working over there and was talking with them about it. And I guess sort of joking with it, and I guess Jericho was on it. They tell a couple of great stories. He's been on Jericho's podcast where they actually talk about kind of putting it all together and getting things together, which I thought was fantastic.
Even the build-up to that came out of left field.
Yes.
It was just like, Jericho?
And the whole
what are you doing there?
Just like, and I mean, I think that showed New Japan. They sold out that building.
Yeah.
Which they don't usually do. Like, it's not usually, they sold like 15 or 20,000 more tickets. It was something. I don't know if it holds 40,000 and they usually sell 25 and they actually sold 40 or whatever. They're wrestling numbers, kids. You never know. Like unless you were there and you're counting people, which I do sometimes.
Yes.
And you just don't know.
No.
But yeah, I can't say. Oh, so I was saying, so there were, other guys. Another guy out of Limitless is also another great company that they use a little more of their sort of homegrown local, and then they'll bring in 4 or 5. I hate to say
guys.
I hate to say mid-range indie guy, but there's always levels. Like if you're bringing, like people are bringing in like a Zack Sabre Jr. He's a little higher up. If you're bringing in, who like I can't think of all the names at the moment. They're a little bit like you bring in Penta or something like that, and then you're raising this. So, but they'll bring in like Matt Cross, who's Son of Havoc in Lucha Underground, who's awesome. And guys like Sami Callihan. See, these are other guys that how they didn't. I get how Sami Callihan didn't really do as well because he is a really hard hitting style. But man, he is so much fun because he was Solomon Crow for a short period of time in NXT, and he's awesome. He's
that hard hitting style. I see the influence from the entire indie scene, which has gotten a little bit more of the hard style going for it.
Yep.
I see that finally influencing WWE. That it's not much like the 90s with ECW and other organizations influencing how WWE eventually became the Attitude Era and then Ruthless Aggression.
I'll
buckets of blood.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's no Attitude Era without ECW. I really don't think that there is.
No. And that also kind of came out of desperation to beat WCW.
Yes.
So, is there going to be a time where WWE is desperate? I see it. I personally see it already happening. Like, they've already seen their numbers drop to a point where they're like, hold on. We need to bring this audience back. Where's the audience going and what are they watching?
Yes.
And that's why I see AJ Nakamura being match of the night, if not match of the year for the WWE. Because, I mean, yeah, there have already been better matches.
Sure. Yeah.
But I see that being them going, okay, the fans are paying attention to this. The fans are popping for this. All right, we need to bring that in. We need to show that off more. Now, what they do with their cruiserweights going forward, though, because they just signed Ricochet.
Yes.
Which I was super hyped for, and at the same time, really reserved.
Mm-hmm.
Because...
As you should be.
Because, I mean, at first they were like, oh, it's going to be NXT. And I'm like, yeah, but main card, they're going to put him in the 205 group. He's going to get the cruiserweight treatment, but is he going to be enough of a star and given enough room to elevate the entire division?
Right.
I wouldn't mind seeing him come in, get that title, and then having a program with Finn Balor. Oh,
I think that would be that could be phenomenal. And that's one thing that I like about like a Finn Balor is he can kind of go with pretty much anybody. I think you mentioned a Rey Mysterio type character.
Yes.
I think Finn Balor is a better candidate than, I forget who we said was going to be that.
Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I think Finn Balor's a little better candidate, but I also think Finn Balor will be looked at as also another guy who was able to get the smaller guys a higher spot.
Right.
And that's one thing that I think, Vince has to get away from. When's it going to get better? Vince has got to go.
Yeah.
Vince has got to, or step back at least a little bit, or take Raw or whatever, because there are a bunch of stories that you hear about where they had a good idea and at the last minute Vince is like, nope,
we're doing this
instead. We're doing this instead. And then the this instead, you're just like, well, that was terrible. Come on,
that was vanilla.
This was gotta be at least okay.
What was presented to you. Oh, the original idea was like everything but what we got was vanilla. What we were hoping for was chocolate.
Yeah, please. Just for
we were asking for a different flavor. You gave us the same thing again.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you look at NXT, especially the end of TakeOver.
Yes.
That I called, and I said it was going to be, well, not the exact thing, but that Tommaso.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm actually forgetting people's names right now.
Ciampa
was going to lose. Like, I was just like, nope, he's not gonna win.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, Johnny Gargano.
Gargano was going to lose.
Yeah, yeah.
But that Ciampa was going to attack him, setting up for whatever NXT takeover at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania, yeah.
It's going to be a triple threat match. And I was like, and because but then other people have reminded me that Ciampa might not be Ciampa might not be healthy enough by that time.
Oh, okay.
Because he's still in the knee brace. He's still actually either that or he's still selling an injury.
Which I think would be fine, because I think one of the things that they don't do well, and I think, you know, a thing that the Get Off the Grass guys might be, you know, talking about would be, like, don't have them touch.
Yeah.
In the ring. And, well, I mean, you know, maybe sneak attack, maybe, you know, this and that. But
they
overall,
don't officially
you don't
meet.
get the payoff until you build to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Whether he's hurt or not. I mean, if he's hurt, great. Gives him 2 months to
continue to heal.
Continue to heal. You already have the built-in angle with the two of them.
Yeah.
And then
the split up, the prerequisite at the Cruiserweight Challenge. You know, there's been a long story between these guys.
At first, initially, I was kind of like, oh man, well, if you're gonna have him interrupt, why don't you? I mean, if you're gonna have him hit Johnny Gargano and try to set this matchup, why not have him lose? Like, why not be part of the loss?
Yeah.
And then I was happy with how they did it, because I was like, no, you had the match between two guys that were good. So I went from that Beyond show to NXT TakeOver.
Oh, by the way, that's also the first 5-star in 8 years that.
Oh, did he give it 5 stars?
Meltzer's
really?
gave.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, first 5-star in 8 years.
Wow, and that match was awesome.
Yeah,
because I was on the fence about going to NXT, and then I was like, you know what, I can probably get him pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And some super nice couple gave me a ticket.
Wow.
As I was walking in. It was
okay.
Awesome. So I was like, please at least just take something from me. You know, like please.
Here's
like, no, we want
here.
Okay.
All right,
thank
fine.
you. You guys are awesome. That's great. You made my day that started with shitty funeral, went to really cool wrestling show, which, by the way, I was watching this wrestling show. You don't know what's coming next, and I had seen David Starr, one of my favorites, and Matt Riddle, one of my favorites, and I'm like, oh, they haven't wrestled yet. Oh, are they going to wrestle each other? That'll be good. And then there was some tag team things happen. I'm like, no, they're going to put them in a tag team. Don't get excited. Just don't get excited. And they wrestled each other, and it was fucking awesome. So I had that, and then went to this other show, and great. It was a really good show. Really, like a really solid show. The match that where are we? So it already happened with Tyler Bate and Roderick Strong.
Yep.
Would have happened this week. Great match. Cole and Alistair Black was awesome. Like that was fun. Just a fun hardcore match. And that match had multiple people chanting boring early on in it around me.
Wow.
There were a couple of them, which and if you chant boring, just stop going to wrestling shows.
Yeah.
Like I won't get any harsher than that. Just stop. You're lame. Stop trying to get yourself over with this really terrible trope. It's awful. It's even worse than the this is awesome chant. Like if you say boring near me, or God forbid if you happen to be like someone that comes with me and you say boring, I will say something to you loudly.
No,
because it's terrible.
Yeah, no. If I get bored during a match, you get no reaction out of me. I just kind of stand there and I'm like, so what am I supposed to cheer for? What am I supposed to boo? I don't know what's going on anymore. Okay.
and I haven't been able to rewatch that match other than just seeing it live. But it wasn't more. It was hold based at times. Yeah. And it was and it had some length to it. But you're chanting boring at about the 12 to 15 minute mark, and I'm just like, what match are you watching? And I was like, yeah, that's not. It's super exciting, but about 7 or 8 minutes after that, you didn't hear anything, and the crowd was kind of, if you watch it, it's hard to tell sometimes because you're only really usually seeing one section, but when you see it, the crowd was into it. They were enjoying it, but not as a whole. By the end of that match, as a whole, everyone was in. Good. Even the douchebags, chanting boring. They're in, and they were happy about it, and that match was great. I will admittedly say, oh, Johnny Gargano and Almas, it's not a. I mean, this is an arena you're working, right? Like it didn't seem like a big enough match.
No, and then it turned everything around. It got 5 stars. It was just like
That's great.
It was the longest match on the card.
Yeah, by far. And another thing that I think they could do more of is give them time to tell their story in the ring. You don't have to give them whatever that match was, 35 minutes or something. 30 something, yeah.
From bell to bell, 32
okay.
something.
So, like, you don't have to give them 30 minutes, but, I don't know, give them a solid 15?
Yeah.
Like, you at least, because, I don't know, if that match was 15 minutes long, that douchebag might have been right with half the crowd that they were bored with it, and it just, it's over now.
Right.
And then it turns into, it was great in the arena. It was not better than David Starr and Matt Riddle, I will say myself.
Right,
but I haven't rewatched that yet either. But that was just the personal excitement for me. I may have been really biased then. I don't
What?
Like,
no.
like, the thing I wanted is actually happening. This is great.
This is the greatest thing ever.
But yeah, it was a phenomenal match that made me just happy to be, a fan of the happy I went and happy that I was just stick with that product. And a couple other people that were on that card that I really, Nikki Cross, I love. Nikki Cross is just great. I love the whole character. She's just a nice standout for me. Like, I was hoping she didn't end up in the Rumble, did she? I don't think she did.
No?
Yeah. So I was a little disappointed with that, but I get it.
Overall, I have to say that the Women's Rumble was a successful endeavor.
Yes.
Like,
yep.
For some strange reason, the Rumble as a concept is the one thing that WWE actually kind of understood from day one. Mm-hmm. They're like, this is meant to be a cheap pop night.
Sure.
We're just going to be rolling people out, and something's going to happen, and then we're going to move right on to the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And perfect. And they understood that, and they were like, that's what we're doing with the women's division, with the Women's Rumble. They were just like, and roll out this next person. In the Men's Rumble, there were actually storylines in there. Holy crap.
Yep. And that was
first time in a long time.
It was funny being in the hotel room and watching that. Like, I didn't want to, like, I ended up going back to Newark to work and stuff like that. And I briefly considered going to the Rumble, but I don't like them in general. Like, I don't like and the thing that I don't like about them is there's all this weird forced throwing over the ropes and, like, just punch him in the face and throw him over the ropes. That type of stuff bothers me. So as far as, because Cornette also talks about, like, with the flippy shit, exposing the business, I feel like that exposes the business more than a lot of other things. So it's not,
you watch a ton of matches that have people going over the ropes with a simple, sometimes thrown against the rope.
Right.
And then it takes two people to lift up the same dude.
Yeah, it's just
what?
Just a little continuity. So they're not my favorite. Tickets were still a little pricey for that one, but it's not my favorite thing to actually watch. So, but I wanted to at least see it because I was interested. I'm always interested. I love watching that. That's a show that it was hard to be in a hotel room because if there's any show that I like to watch there's a group of anywhere from like 6 to 10 of us that'll watch like some of the bigger pay-per-views. Yeah. So we'll all pick numbers, and you put in $5 and you get I think there were 10 of us at one, so you had like 3 numbers.
Oh wow.
And one of the, I think it was the one Randy Orton won because I won $50, which is sweet.
Oh wow.
So it's and then we'll side bet, like you start throwing money like dollars down as to like, okay, this is gonna be the next person in. This is gonna be, and if it's not that person, the pile will just build up. So it's a little fun gambling and just like hanging out. So it was hard to sort of sit there in the hotel room. And my internet wasn't great in there. And everything seemed out of order because I also got back from work around 8 o'clock. So I was like, okay, the Men's Rumble's on now. Hold on, is this not working right? Is something good? Because it was the order that was, and then there was
this last year's. What?
Yeah, and then I tried to rewind. There was a whole thing. That involved the internet, and I decided I'm just watching it from where it is, and we'll see what comes next.
Yeah, because the Men's Rumble was super early in the show.
Yes, yeah,
like
it threw me off.
Now at the same time, I do like the fact that they did that. We're throwing everyone for a loop.
Yep. Once I figured it out, I was texting a friend of mine, and I was kind of going, okay, so wait, they're gonna have the Women's Rumble, and then they're gonna have Strowman and Lesnar and Unnecessary Kane, and they're like, oh no, okay, well then it kind of, once it all clicked in, I was like, oh, that's a great idea, perfect, perfect timing, perfect everything, and actually ended up being other than the end of the Rumble, which also feeds into our indie thing, other than that, it was a Rumble. They have their little things, and I thought the women's one was more fun to watch, more just a better, you know.
Sasha Banks kicks on Lita.
Yeah.
The one where she was able to sell that the first one did connect, then 4 in a row of, what are you kicking?
Yeah.
Woo!
Just as an aside, speaking of connections, Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman, when he straight punched him in the face. It was awesome. You could just see in the slow-mo, you could see the anger on Brock's face.
So, the best part is, did you catch in the stream that Brock yelled, slow the fuck down?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, at Strowman right after that.
Oh, no, I didn't. No.
Because Strowman, like, if you notice, Strowman was on a roll at that moment.
Yeah.
He was going too fast. That's why he connected so hard.
Yeah.
That's it. It was just Strowman being young.
That's very interesting, yeah.
He was just like,
yeah,
I'm in the ring with these guys again.
Yeah, that's nice. Like, but I flip into the end of the Rumble real quick.
Yes.
The first thing I thought when you saw the last 4 guys, I was like, oh, this is the Indies versus Sports Entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, that's excellent. I'm real happy with that. You know, I was in
any other year, you look at the 4 guys in that ring, you're like, either John or Roman's walking out of here.
Oh, easy. Yeah, easy.
You're like, 4 years ago, John would be walking out of there. 2 years ago, Roman did walk out of there.
Yep.
Yeah. But this year, Nakamura walked out of there. By the way, I love the fact that Finn was the Iron Man in this.
Yeah.
And that Nakamura was also in there for only 10 minutes less.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the? Okay, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote this up, Vince may, have your ass on the line for the next 6 weeks, but you gave the fans what they wanted.
Yep. And I do agree with some of the sentiment that I hear about, you can't always give the fans, like, the fans can't book a show.
No.
Yeah, like, and I get that. But there are just times where, please, like I said to you, or said earlier, like, just pull the trigger on this match before one of them gets permanently hurt or some random. Just do it. I want to see it at WrestleMania. I want to see how the crowd reacts to it because you saw the Wrestle Kingdom version of it, which was excellent. But that's also Japanese crowd. It is what
You saw it for a brief instance at the Money in the Bank match.
Oh yes,
where they picked up and moved the ladder out of the way and went at each other. And I was like,
that's fantastic.
The crowd went nuts. It was like, okay, I think that moment is why we have Nakamura winning the Rumble. Is there someone at WWE went, that's happening, we're pulling the trigger on it, and this is how we're going to get there, and everyone turned slowly to Vince and he went, there's money to be made, right?
Yep. I mean, it made me go, maybe I could go to New Orleans. Maybe that would be the
I know.
And I love all the stuff like that's always around it with all the indie, whether it's, I mean, it wasn't just Ring of Honor, but when I was looking at Orlando, the days were just incredible. Like, that would start at noon with this show called Pancakes and Pile Drivers that Sami Callihan curated, and that ended with like Joey Janela did a midnight show, Beyond did a midnight show, and you had everybody. You had Rev Pro in the area. You had you had a couple of other Progress came over.
Yep.
So you had the ability to see people that you wouldn't necessarily be able to see other than on a single one guy comes over or something like that, but to actually have the promotion sort of in that area was pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
To kind of, and so I was hoping to maybe make that happen, and then I decided against it. I decided.
So New Orleans this year.
I don't know if I could take 12 hours, like from noon to from noon to 2 a.m. probably after the final show got over.
You're like, okay, hold on,
that
guys.
Might be some of those Beyond shows, because they do like a secret show at the beginning.
Oh.
And like then they do a 4-hour show, and so you're like, man, I think I just watched 7 hours of wrestling today or something like that. That's weird. Okay, all right.
I need to go find some food now, though.
And the crowds would kind of, you get a little lull sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But they're getting there. They're getting to the point where I think their show started just after 2 and ended right around 5. So like 2.5, 3 hour show that knowing that a lot of people were gonna be like, oh hey, we got to get out of here, drive, because it was about 20-30 minutes to get down to see NXT and everything, and so that's it's cool. It was kind of good. It was neat to have everybody. It's neat to have these little groups little like all in one area, and you could spin it off pretty easily, and you can get a company, like I said, to go in there for the first show, sell out their show without announcing the card.
Anybody that can sell it out without announcing a card, that alone.
They didn't even announce who was going to be on the show. It wasn't that they just didn't announce matches. They didn't announce anything. They're like,
hey, we're having a show.
Coming here, like we're doing a show, like. And I think Chikara was running that night too, actually.
Oh wow!
I think that was part of So.
All right. One last thing that I got to ask you though. Rockstar Spud, GM of 205 Live.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I think it'll be interesting. He seems like he's also not somebody I've seen a lot of because of that. My either inability to want to watch TNA or Impact, or my not being able to for one reason or another. I think that'll be good. I think that 205 Live is such a hard thing. They sent out a questionnaire about it. Did you happen to get this?
No, I didn't.
I did, and their questionnaires are pretty in depth. Like it was maybe 20 questions, but you can answer a lot of stuff. You can write a lot of things. It's not just like
it's not yes.
Do you want this? Do you want that?
Yeah.
And when they started doing the 205 Live, I was not excited. I wasn't excited about splitting up the weight classes again.
No.
I liked when they got rid of the cruiserweight thing. I don't like it, and I think that they're, where they put it on SmackDown. I've been to 2 shows, and it's weird even in the building.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, because you have the payoff of SmackDown.
Right.
And then a completely different show.
And then they realized really quickly that the completely different show didn't keep people in the building.
Yeah.
So they would move people, so they would, on the hard camera side, so it looked like there were people there. And there were, when people were filing out, so they started doing a match after that. So one of the shows I went to, the match after 205 stopped taping was Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, wow.
So it was a big, like, they would be like, oh, and coming up is, so they get people to kind of... So it's like, we know you don't like little guys to begin with. We understand that. We get it.
Vince loves his big sweaty men.
Yes. I almost said that earlier because a friend of mine had shown me that. I thought that was funny too. And yes.
Yes, he does.
So, and they're like, well, we put it in this shitty spot and people are leaving the building. Why is it not getting over? And we're only using, 8 guys. And like,
yeah.
Why is this product not working? So they send out the questionnaire. I wish I had it. It's one of those things like I should have just printed it out. Just to be like, did you see
this?
Look at this shit.
Look at this.
And and some of the guys they have are great. So I think Rockstar Spud might bring some other eyes to it. Maybe it'll just, if they really want to give him some room, and maybe they're gonna actually give it some time and give it some other guys. I like that. This is the other hard part. You're talking to someone who likes the guys that are on it. I've seen Tony Nese on the Indies. I did not see Tozawa. I still have not seen Tozawa.
Really?
QT 205 lives. I'm like, please, I just want to see him live once.
I just want to see him once. Come on.
But you have another big guy that you brought in. Love Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander is awesome. And there are a couple other. This is that not remembering all the
Brian Kendrick.
Brian Kendrick, great to have the older guy. A guy who I watched in Ring of Honor, who was in we were in that building for crowning a champion, and he was in that match. They went 60 minutes, and it was brutally hot. It's just brutal. It was easily over 100 degrees. It was ridiculous in there. And so Spanky Brian Kendrick that's great. You have him, and I like Mustafa Ali, and I like a couple other guys, but they're legit guys. Drew Gulak is awesome. I like Drew Gulak. I don't know about the 205 Live as much, but it feels like you've got 8 to 10 guys that you keep putting in the same match. It feels like you keep having the same match.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting to. And I like these guys and don't want to watch it because you're not, or you're trying to WWE it with some dumb storylines.
Exactly.
Stuff like that.
Exactly.
It's a hard thing. But 205 Live, I think has potential. And with the guys that they're bringing in, are they going to be able to make it really work? I really don't know.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. I'd love to see it.
I'd love to see them sign Rey Mysterio. And put him in that division again.
Yep.
And be like, No, this is a guy that you know can take on the guys at the top,
Sure.
and he's your cruiserweight champion.
Right.
Blend the two divisions again.
And he gets a great pop. He got a great,
Yeah.
he got a
Oh
great
my
pop
God.
in the Rumble.
Looks great.
Yes. Oh, he looks great. I noticed. I went to when I went out to PWG.
Mm-hmm.
I just randomly found out where they taped Lucha Underground and showed up. And I was just like,
all right.
"Hi, I'm here. Do you have a ticket?" "No, I was just hoping that you might let me in. I didn't really have anything else to do today other than stand in line and wait for the next PWG show. Can I get in?" And they're like, "Oh, well, that's weird, but okay." Sure. Like, they take your picture because it's TV, and so you have to do certain things, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll see if we can get you in. Go see this guy." And he's like, "Yeah, we probably can sneak you in somewhere."
All right.
So, and they did and I got the perfect thing because I wasn't able to stay for the second half of the taping because I had to get back for the PWG show.
Yep.
But they did what do they call it? It's a gauntlet. Aztec Warfare.
Oh.
So it was literally every guy came out and wrestled. It was awesome. You're
Thank you.
This is
Thank
every
you.
guy I
Thank
could
you.
possibly want. And Rey made his debut there and blew the roof off that building. That was it was like one of the bigger pops I'd heard all year. It was awesome.
Nice.
And it made, because for me, I see Rey Mysterio and I think, oh, it's Rey. You know,
Yeah.
it's not. I don't dislike him. He's there. He's a guy that he has good matches, but I don't. You know, I'm not gonna buy a ticket to go see Rey Mysterio myself. But I know people really enjoy him, and he's still good. But he looked great in that match. He was in that match for a decent amount of time, and I thought he looked great in the Rumble. I was happy, and I was happy he got this huge pop for it. It was awesome. That was really great.
Anyway, Mark, I want to say thank you.
Hey, no, thank you.
Thank you for
I'm
popping in.
happy
Thank
to-
you for
happy to
running
be
down
here.
everything that you have. You're always
I
welcome
do.
back.
Wait, hold on.
Did you?
Wait, let me just. I gotta mention somebody. Do I have to mention anybody? I got all kinds of bad notes. That's my, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, another good kid to watch. Joey Janela, I mentioned him once. Joey Janela's got some good stuff going on. His girlfriend or a valet or whatever you call her took one of the more, as far as pops in that Electric Haze building.
Yeah.
She was doing a cartwheel, and I think it was Danny Moff speared her
Oh.
upside down.
Oh, I've seen that.
It was the crowd just lost it. It was awesome. It
I
was
saw
another
that
one of
clip.
those. Yeah.
And I was just like,
So she's
Oh.
another one that's super hardcore. Chris Dickinson, John Silver, Jonathan Gresham. Just go see indie wrestling.
yeah,
And thank you for having me.
you're welcome. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and smash that like button, but ask it politely first to smash. And also hit the bell, so that way you can know when I'm putting up new shows and stuff. Anyway, thank you very much, and until next time, stay frosty.